college roommate got a taste of her own medicine. So, back when I was a junior in college, I shared an apartment with 3 other girls. One of the girls was very difficult to live with. She frequently had sex on our living room couch, which is fine, but wouldn't warn anyone. I'd get up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water and frequently walked in on her. I'm a night owl, which she knew, so some warning would have been nice. She also gave access to our apartment to her friends, who none of us knew. The TV in the living room was brought by me and I'd frequently get back from class wanting to relax and watch TV. However, I almost never could use my TV as every time I came home, she'd have a random friend over, meanwhile she wasn't there, and her friend would be playing video games on the TV for hours on end. To continue the saga, she would take showers that lasted hours long and she would always end up flooding the bathroom. She never contributed to cleaning and was always clogging the drain, so the bathroom flooding happened regularly. I could barely use the bathroom, I had to be cautious walking through the living room, and I never had access to the TV I brought. As I mentioned, she never contributed to cleaning. Whenever she would cook, the dishes would pile up. She had a thing where say a recipe called for 2 tablespoons of an ingredient, she had to use a separate individual spoon for each tablespoon required. This led to the sink being piled with her dishes after just one meal, and it would get to the point where we couldn't even run the faucet to wash our hands. Now before each break, our apartment had to be spotless as someone would come check and we could get fined. At my school, you stayed on campus all 4 years, so this was a dorm residence with rules by the school. During fall break, Thanksgiving break, and winter break, I was last to leave and was always left with the chores of cleaning up this roommate's mess. Everyone else cleaned their stuff up and never caused any issues. By the time spring break came along, I had had enough. Once again, I was the last one to leave the apartment, so it was on me to do the final cleaning. The sink was once again filled with all of her dishes and she had already gone home for break. I decided I wasn't going to clean up her mess again. So instead, I took all of her dirty dishes and placed them on her desk and bed. I left a post-it note saying, if you don't want this to happen again, clean up after yourself. There were so many other awful things she did to us, but the messiness and lack of cleaning was the one thing that pissed me off the most. I was done with cleaning up after her, and if anyone were to get in trouble for the mess, it should be her. So I thought it was only fair all her dirty dishes ended up as a pile on all of her stuff. I never saw her reaction and she didn't speak to any of us after that or spend time in the apartment. I never had to deal with cleaning up after her again, so it felt like a win to me.